Hi again. In our last business perspectives class, we had a guest professor. His name was Bruce Sommer, and he discussed entrepreneurship with us. In my last video, I kind of hinted at entrepreneurship, not knowing that that was going to be our next topic, which was kind of neat. So Bruce Sommer came in to discuss different things about entrepreneurship that he found important to us. Since it is a business perspectives class, it's very broad in its topics, and it kind of helps you build what you want to do with your career. Having an MBA, it gives you the variety to choose. It gives you a little bit of everything, so you know kind of what works best for you, which I think is super helpful if you don't really have a plan. You're just getting an MBA. Or if you're in a business already, getting your MBA, maybe that'll differentiate yourself from others and you can focus more on what you like to do and build your way from there. Um, so there's three main points that Sommer had suggested to us to start with in talking about entrepreneurship. He started with to create value, um, deliver value, and capture value. So, create value is what makes your product or service valuable to your consumer. So you need to find something that people want, or something that you can make people need. There's different products that people need already that they can't live without, and different things that people just want simply because it's available and it was provided to them. They didn't know they wanted it until they were told that they wanted it, which kind of works for a lot of people. Um, then the second part is to deliver value. So that's creating the product, creating the service, making it available to consumers. So you have what it is that you're going to provide to your consumers, then actually providing it to your consumers. And lastly, you're going to capture value, which basically means profitability. Capturing value is actually selling the product or service, getting monetary benefits from it when you're all said and done. So, those are the three main parts to entrepreneurship that we started with tonight. And I think those are pretty good basics for anyone to start with because they're clean cut, they're easy to understand, and it just kind of it makes sense, I would think. Um, so if you don't know how something makes money, it's you. That's one of the quotes that I got from Sommer when he was presenting to us. Um, he said that meaning if you don't know how to sell your product or present it to people for them to want it, then that's the problem with the product, not the product itself. You could sell pet rocks to people and they will buy them if you present them properly. And that is a real product that people, I think, still buy, which is kind of silly to me because you can go out in the middle of the road and pick up a rock, call it your pet. But having someone put a rock in a box and say, "This is your pet rock. Take care of me." Someone it touches them in a different way that they want to buy the product. Not just like as a gag gift kind of thing, but they genuinely want to buy a pet rock. I just think that's one way to think of it. Um, so we had an activity where everyone in the class went up to whiteboards and we wrote down adjectives or a verb. So we had a couple whiteboards full of everything you can think of. There was adorable, clean, bright, jump, skip, rock. There's so many different adjectives and verbs that people had written down, and we didn't know what it was for at first, so we didn't get overly creative. We got basically creative. And so we all sat back down. He put us into groups. And he said, okay, go pick out 2 words and come sit back down. Our group had juggling and hard, which, I mean, juggling is hard, so I understand the thought process. That makes sense, right? Well, it turns out that he had us do a project with it. We had to make a product or an industry, and our business had to use those 2 words as our business. So we had hard to juggle as our business, and we contemplated on a lot, and we thought, the basic, juggling, but that was kind of hard to sell to people. Juggling is pretty basic, and it's kind of not what we were going through. We were trying to pick something a little more deep, a deeper thought. So it hard to juggle was it's kind of getting your life in order. It's a budgeting system, like an app that helps you juggle your expenses in life and your schedules and everything. Life is hard to juggle, but we can make it easier, was like our slogan that we tried to sell. And I think maybe it's me being biased because I was in the group, but I think it came across like something someone might want, because life is hard. Why not have somebody make it easier? And we also wanted to have a built-in system, because it could track your money, like your debit cards or your credit cards, so you were aware of your spending and help you budget easier. And excuse me. And we were hoping to have a method to round up your purchases. Like, say you went and bought Taco Bell for $7.49, round it up to 8, and that extra change went towards paying off your debt. We automatically put it into a debt system where it would pay off your debt every time you made a purchase and round up the change. And you could round it up by however much you want, which would be nice. Typically, it's round up to the dollar. But personally, I would love to have a product like that, because you're starting to pay off your debt without even thinking about it. You're making your everyday purchases and putting a little bit into them every single day that you make a purchase. Other groups had very good ideas as well that we all had to listen to and watch them present on also. There's a couple other people who had app ideas and similar budgeting things for debt, which I think is pretty typical if you ask college students what they need most in life. I think that's why most people gravitate to the help me get my life straight kind of things. And that's important to us as students at this time in our lives. So I think it was kind of interesting doing that activity with Summer, because it gave us a different perspective on being able to sell what you've got. I mean, you might be good at one thing, or you might have a certain niche, and you just have to be able to sell it to someone else, no matter what. That's what makes entrepreneurship successful. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.